let's take a look at these charts. How about that? All right, let me share my screen. You guys should be able to see my screen here. And I am going to go to the NRGY chart. Okay, I'm going to go to the NRGY chart. And I'm going to kind of give you a little bit about of what I see. Let me hit the refresh screen so I can get the most accurate chart. And I'm going to be looking at a one-day chart. Why a one-day chart? Because the longer the time frame you go with a chart, the more reliable they are, the more data they are. You've heard the past history repeats itself, right? We have all that prior history, and it's all compressed. And on the overall long-term picture, the longer time frame charts are going to give the best analysis. So I'm going to analyze this with a day chart. Guys, if you look at NRGY, and I got to get my annotating tool out today. I love to annotate whenever I'm drawing on the charts. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the annotate button. Let's see if I can find it. Enable annotation. Wow, they changed zoom up on me, so I may not be able to annotate, do that. Annotate. I may not be able to annotate this puppy. Man, I'm sorry, guys. But they did. They changed zoom up. They come out with all these things, and they have to go and change it up. So see, somebody's annotating. I wonder why it's not letting me. Oh, here it is. They put it in a different place. That's why. They put it on the toolbar. That's pretty awesome. So, okay. So what happened is that NRGY come out of the gate, guys, it was a few dollars. And the thing that makes NRGY so exceptional is that NRGY was deployed, and it's not a company. It's 100% totally decentralized, meaning that everybody who has NRGY actually put skin in the game. They bought their NRGY. So when we deployed NRGY, we released it. We had to put our own money up and go buy NRGY. Now, when we deployed NRGY, means that we put our own money up. We've got a really good supply of energy. And so we have a vested interest in building this platform up to its full potential. Because if we do that, we all win. We all win. So we came out of the gate back in February we were just a few dollars, and we almost immediately rocketed up to $170, right in that range. We came down from $170 to about 90 bucks. And then we just played around there for about a day and a half before just completely rocketing up the chart you see up here to around $700-800 bucks. From $700-800 bucks, we had a really big spike down and then a spike right back up, which is significant of some major upside. And we saw that NRGY had went up to $980 before coming back down. Came up, worked its way back up a little bit, and then it had its pullback. And I want you guys to understand, this is very normal, okay? Very, very, very normal in the market. You always have this initial surge of excitement, right? When something comes out, and then you have that big pullback. But that second drive up, that big pullback, either it's a project that's no good and it goes to zero, or it's something that really impacts and changes the world. I shouldn't say just changes the world. It could be changes that particular market, I should say. Okay, but it'll go way up. It'll come back on the big pullback, and you'll see it level out. And then its next move is almost always a big one. And when it goes up the chart on its next move, that second drive is usually significantly greater than that first drive. Okay. This is really where the men are separated from the boys in the market. And you can look at virtually any market. You can look at Bitcoin, for instance. In the beginning, Bitcoin kind of petered along there for a minute until people started hearing about it and whatnot. So it kind of sat stagnant there for a minute. But when Bitcoin started to go up and people started to hear about it, you know, Bitcoin went all the way up to $30. $30 from fractions of a penny. Did you know from $30 that Bitcoin fell all the way down to $2, to $2, from $30 to $2? Everybody thought, oh my gosh, that's the end of Bitcoin, right? But you know, from that $2, its next move up was about $250, and then $1,000, and then all of a sudden $20,000. This is what we've seen Bitcoin do. But Bitcoin's not just the anomaly. Guys, Amazon stock did the exact same thing, and so did Apple, and so did a lot of the major stocks. Just go look at a long-term chart, and you'll see oftentimes this big drive up, huge pullback, where it makes this bull shape, and then boom, explosive growth. Amazon went to about $112 a share. Okay, right in that neighborhood when they first come out. We all know who Amazon is. I think everybody from all around the world knows who Amazon is. They went way up to about $112 right out of the gate, from virtually zero all the way up to 112. From $112, did you know that Amazon pulled back to about $5? Amazon stock went from over $110 all the way down to $5 before rounding that corner and busting out and never looking back. And today, Amazon is worth over $3,000 a share. But you look at almost any of these things in history, you see the same recurring pattern. Big drive up, huge pullback around the corner, and the second drive up is a monster. That's where those people who have the fortitude to stick with it and stay in with those companies or projects, that's why a lot of those people today, you know, their life has changed. I mean, literally became millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires by just knowing these key things. You see, the price is not what's important necessarily of a stock. You know, what it's doing now is not necessarily always important as what it's doing tomorrow or what it's doing in the future. Because by knowing that, you're able to get in before you have that second massive drive up. And, you know, it's just something key that people really need to remember, Guys, Nike is a perfect example. Nike's another one. A lot of people don't realize that Nike stock in the stock market, I'm looking it up right now, one of the best performing stocks ever. Nike, everybody knows who Nike is. Let me look it up here. I'm going to show you. Nike has went up 762,000% since its initial inception. 762,300% since its inception. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, right? If you would have got in Nike in the beginning, I mean, just a few dollars, what a few dollars would have done for your life. So I want to really break this down for you, and why I feel like this is such a good, this chart, this technical analysis on this chart is just unbelievable, guys. Okay, it goes way past that. So let's take a look at the factors of energy. Now, this can only go one of two places. It can either go down to zero or it can go much higher. Why do I say that? Because all trades, everything starts at zero and it eventually ends up back up at zero. Okay, from a trading standpoint, everything does. Bitcoin, the Walmart, Amazon, everything. You've heard the saying, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So even the moon and the stars will one day turn to zero again, right? So it can only go one of two places. That's it. And so what we have to do to determine this is we have to take a look at a couple different factors on the chart, and then we need to go look at the fundamental analysis and see what's happening on the background, because we can see, you know, the upside. So typically what happens is when you get a drive up, we got this next drive up. Really, this was all one drive. But if you look back, you see this little notch down here. And what a market correction means is that the red candlesticks, the previous low, the market comes back and hits the previous low, hits the previous red candlestick. Okay, you almost always, you know, you don't almost always, you always see that where you get the correction. Okay, it may be a long time, you know, a stock may look like it needs to correct, or crypto come down and then go way up again, but it'll eventually always come back to that correction. So when this happened, you could see this correction right here was about 170, and you can even go down a little bit into this valley, and you'll see it was around 110. The fact is, if we would have held here, we would have had a good chance of going probably to around 2000. We would have went up about the same distance from these 2 points. Okay, so if this would have bounced off this peak, we could have seen this go up here to maybe 2000 before coming back down and correcting itself and going back up again. But what we see is that it dropped past this point right down here. And that's a really good sign. And not only that, it didn't just drop past that point one time. It dropped below this point 2 times. That's one thing that you really like to see trading. So it didn't just drop one time, it's been down there 2 times. Really, really good indicator. So what we see this starting to do is what I consider the general consensus drive. That's what I call it, guys. Many of you guys know me. I've made some major calls in the market. I mean, calls long before anybody else made them. My latest claim to fame was Doge. I told people to get Doge when it was 2/10 to 3/10 of a penny last year, like literally less than a year ago. Okay, I told them to get Doge when it was 2/10 to 3/10 of a penny, and we all know what happened with Doge. And a lot of people go, "What do you mean? Are you crazy?" I said, "No, I see it in the chart. This thing's going to go way up." Now, is Dogecoin a good buy now? No, I don't think Dogecoin's a good buy now. But you know, I don't think Dogecoin's necessarily a good buy now. But at that time, it was a great buy. So what you generally get is you get this what's called general consensus, what I could call general consensus drive. You have one drive up, one drive down, 2 drive up, and the second drive down is always lower than the first drive down. And a lot of times you'll get it'll start to come up, and then boom, it'll come down one more time. That's your second down, and then you get your third up. And this cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. But it's all based on your perspective. Is it your perspective from this candlestick on the 5-minute chart or 30-minute chart, or this one on the hour chart, or is it this one on the day chart? It's all from your perspective that you're looking at it. But this wave always plays out true. So if we're looking at this on a day chart, we see it make that correction. One drive up, one drive down, two drive up, the second drive up, and here comes the second drive down here. Boom, looked like it needed to go up, boom, came down twice, and now we're bouncing off of that. And you know, we should see this start to come up. You're probably gonna get this number, it's gonna climb, it's gonna dip, it's gonna dive, and then boom. Okay, that's usually what you get, right? In the market, you get these big bull shapes and you get dome shapes. This is a dome, and you can look, there's domes within domes and domes within domes, and then you get these bull shape. You look at this bull shape here, this one here, so forth and so on. What I think we're doing is we're making this huge bull shape. We've came down, we're starting to level out, level and level and level. We busted down that second time there at the bottom. We're starting to level out. And could we come down a little bit more too? Maybe, yeah, we could still do that. That's still a possibility. But we're starting to level out here and make this gigantic bull shape to go on the next up. That's what I see, okay? Now, this isn't a guarantee what's to come, but I just want you to see what I see in this chart and why it looks so good. You know, you've also got these descending peaks. You got one here, here, and here. These three descending peaks. You know, these are another thing that's key. So there's so many things that look really good on this chart. But what typically happens is when a trade clears its all-time high, its previous all-time high, it typically goes up 3x to 4x, okay? Sometimes it goes a little higher, but it typically goes up three times to 4 times this previous high, okay? Bitcoin we saw go up a lot higher. But if we look at the previous high, which is about 1,000, a little under 1,000, and you take 3 to 4 times that, you're at $3,000 to $4,000. 3 to 4,000. Why do I say 3 to 5,000? Because you've got that psychological barrier too. People play things with, you know, in 5s and 0s. So you do have that psychological barrier there too. So it's possible it could even go up there. But to me, it looks like this next drive up, this should be that big drive. This should be that big one. The big one that you get with
You're breaking up, Dwayne. Yeah, you're breaking up.
if it is that big one, the people that are involved stand to capitalize. Breaking up.
Yeah.
Still breaking up.
Okay, there you go.
Am I still breaking up?
Yeah.
Okay. So the people that, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn this over to Alan, and here we have to look at the fundamental analysis. Did you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, so I was just going to finish up, Alan, if people can hear me.
All right.
I think that this could be the big one that really changes people's life, just like with Bitcoin, just like with Amazon, just like with some of those other things out there. And so why we have to look to see if this is the big one is we have to look at the fundamentals of what's going on behind the scenes. So the fundamentals are very important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn over Alan, and he's going to go over the fundamentals and show you what's coming with energy.
Let me see here a second. Hold on. So here is, well, first of all, we have, hang on a second. So this is actually up right now. You can go to the site. This is just a temporary site. We are assembling the parts and pieces of StarStake, integrating and testing. We made a lot of progress this week on it. We have both cutting, just beautiful design and great technology. If you look at great technology companies like Apple, that's what they do. They have great design, and great technology. Now, this technology, StarStake, is going to transform not only the way people in the music industry transact, but it's going to transact the world of social media as well. It monetizes it in a way that has not been done before. It allows people, rather than giving access to them away for free to centralized platforms, it provides an entire integrated economy that allows them to monetize the value of who they are in society, what they can offer people, and how much people are willing to pay to access those people. Now, those are some pretty big things, and I don't want to get into too much detail on it until our launch. But I can tell you that StarStake is music and much, much, much more, much more. It is a opportunity for that big win that creates the economy that we've been working toward for the last 30 weeks. And at the same time creates really a disruptive and platform to many of the leading centralized technology companies on the internet today. Now, those are some pretty bold statements, but they're factual. Now, if we can execute, there's risk, there's execution risk, there is regulatory risk, there are risks in this. I'm not going to tell you that there are no risks. This is a high risk, high reward opportunity. Actually, all cryptocurrency truly is in that genre. However, if we're successful with what we have, and I know one thing for sure, we have the community members that are making this happen. We have the people. See, our community came together on NRGY and the concept of a fair, decentralized financial system. And now it's evolved into for the first time, rather than a company producing an application like this, we actually have a decentralized community of people coming together and creating a solution that not only represents a great business product, right, and a great financial opportunity, but it represents real true innovation that I don't think would have been fostered in a traditional centralized technology company, certainly at a far, far greater cost. So we're actually coming to a realization that our original concept is working. And though many people, I mean, they want to make a little bit of money, they're selling their energy and they're free to do that. And they've been doing that at $70 or whatever the case may be. However, many of us who look at this say, well, you know, I can, when it runs up to $200 or $300 or $400 or $500 next time, I can get out, get some money, and maybe either make a profit or get some money back. But you're gonna have a real tough decision to make, and that's going to be: is this going to be one of those things that happens once in a lifetime for most of us? Is NRGY and the StarStake platform going to transform the way the internet works? And quite frankly, it's transformational in industries, and it's transformational across the internet. And so I just can't tell you how excited about that.
Well, hey, it's a perfect time for me to jump back in because you're froze. Or is it me that's froze?
No, we can hear you, Dwayne. Alan froze.
Okay. Okay. I couldn't tell if it was me or if it was him. So I'm going to come back here to you. So what, you know, I want you to think about StarStake and this new infinity NFT technology we have. I just want to give you an analogy, guys, just an analogy. And this is purely for example purposes. But if you know anything about NFTs right now, they're basically just digital photos, right? They're pieces of art. They're a baseball card, right? That's basically what they are. They're a baseball card. And people right now are out there. This is very NFT. The whole NFT technology is very new to the industry. And people are out there right now trading baseball cards, right? They're trading pieces of art. What NFT bucks are is they have real value to them, real face value that they can redeem for real dollars. Or maybe they're a collectible and they
I'm
can.
back again. Sorry.
Yeah, by the way, I figured it was a good part. Wait.
Okay, so let me just wrap up by saying we got a great, exciting, possibility for all of us. We're dedicated to getting this out soon. We'll see where we are next week at this time, but expect definitely some real exciting news happening here with what we're doing very, very soon within this month time frame. So thank you all for being there, and I will be in touch with you.